What's going on? Mitchell Renz, Tom Downey. You're watching NFL Daily. We got a 2020 NFL mock draft, the first 2 rounds.
Did 2 of them for you.
That might be the all I talk in this entire video. Let's go to the number 1 overall pick. We know who it is. It's Joe Burrow.
Yeah, there aren't many changes here, so we'll go all 4 at once, then kind of reveal them. Burrow to the Bengals. Stop it, Pro Football Talk. This one's going to happen. Chase Young to the Redskins makes a ton of sense. I like the fits for Jeffrey Okudah to the Detroit Lions and Isaiah Simmons to the New York Giants as well. We've also mentioned Tua to the Dolphins. If the medical checks out, I think the Dolphins take him at 5 because that's ahead of Carolina and ahead of LA. If it doesn't check out, the draft could be due for an absolutely massive change in terms of where the quarterbacks go and where Miami goes too.
Oh, another quarterback about to come off the board here at number 6 to the Chargers. We're going to go Justin Herbert, who had a great Senior Bowl game and practice.
Not a huge surprise. He was one of the only first-round caliber guys there, so that was kind of expected, but still good. Don't get me wrong on that one. You are correct, Mitch. I think he's a good fit in LA. We know that Phillip Rivers is not going to be back. They have a chance to get their franchise guy. Let's do it. It's easy. Plug it in.
Carolina Panthers pick 7 here. Matt Rule. He's going to go with Derrick Brown, Auburn.
Carolina has to just find impact defensive players. They've got huge needs at all 3 major positions, or phases and levels of the defense. Derrick Brown, next best defensive guy for me, fills a big need. I like the fit.
Number 8 here to the Arizona Cardinals. They're going to protect Kyler Murray and go Jedrick Wills Jr.
You got that name right that time. You said Willis last time. I thought about receiver here, but if I'm Arizona, I have a chance to get maybe the best offensive lineman, plug him in right away at right tackle, help protect Kyler Murray. That makes a lot of sense for me. I think it's a good fit for Arizona. And I think you'll see an early run on offensive linemen and quarterbacks, which helps teams drafting outside the top 20.
So do you guys want trades in the next mock draft? So type Y for yes, type N for no, and if you guys do want to see some more different things here, make sure you subscribe, youtube.com/chatsportstv. So if you want to trade to the next mock, Y for yes, type N for no. Number 9 on our list here, we're going to go wide receiver. It's going to be Jerry Jeudy, wide receiver out of Alabama.
I like Jeudy. I think he's a fantastic route runner, brings some other dynamic abilities that the Jags maybe don't have right now. I think Derrick Brown, Isaiah Simmons all make sense here. The Jags have a couple picks in the early top 50. They can afford to spend one on a premier receiver.
Number 10, the Cleveland Browns are going to go Tristan Wirfs.
Browns have to invest, if not once, twice early on the offensive line. Wirfs is a big mauling right tackle, can play some left tackle out of Iowa. I really like his fit with Cleveland. I'll plug him in at 10.
Number 11, the New York Jets are going to go Andrew Thomas, offensive tackle from Georgia. And make sure that you guys are voting below. Grade the picks A, B, C, D, or F throughout this entire show.
I think Thomas can play left tackle for the Jets. And if I'm New York, I'm looking at receiver, edge, offensive line, all viable options. I got to build around Sam Darnold, though. So I'll worry about edge later. Give me a tackle in round 1.
With the 12th pick of the 2020 NFL Draft, the Las Vegas Raiders are going to go with CeeDee Lamb. Not too much of a surprise, player that we've talked about a ton on the Raiders.
Lamb and Jeudy, 1A, 1B. You can flip back and forth on either. They're both fantastic fits and needs and dynamic playmakers. Kind of reminds me a little bit of DeAndre Hopkins in the way that he's great after the catch and in contested catch situations. Now, he's not going to be a burner. He's not going to run that fast at the 40-yard dash in the combine. That's okay for me. If I'm Oakland and I get a chance to take Lamb, Jeudy, or even Ruggs at 12, if Simmons, of course, is off the board like he is here, which I think he will be, it's a no-brainer pick. Get yourself that impact number 1 guy for your quarterback.
Now, Tom, I absolutely love the pick of CeeDee Lamb, number 12. I also love this deal we got going on with Pro Flowers right now. If you got a loved one in your life, you got a significant other, wife, girlfriend, mom, daughter, go get her some flowers for Valentine's Day. It is right around the corner. Go to chatsports.com/flowers. You're going to get 15% off flowers, gifts, there's cookies, there's chocolates, flowers, but it's 15% off all gifts, flowers, everything. Chatsports.com/flowers.
That's the best deal out there. Do it right now. That way, you don't have to worry about the rush shipping either, since it is almost Valentine's Day.
Number 13 to the Colts, Javon Kinlaw, a player that I'm just starting to fall more and more in love with.
Thought about quarterback here. We'll get back to it later since it's a 2-round mock draft. I think he is a perfect fit for Indianapolis, really promising athlete. The production is better than the raw stats say. He's a really good player, and he is a fantastic fit for what the Colts want to do. I think he's pretty much a top 20 lock here. Number 14, because Mitch does not trust his pronunciation here, Mekhi Becton, the offensive tackle out of Louisville. The Bucs get someone who can plug in right away. If they're not going quarterback here, edge, offensive line make the most sense.
Tom, I got this next one. Pick number 15, the Broncos. They're going to go Henry Ruggs, wide receiver. I love it.
Someone just asked if there are any burner receivers like Tyreek Hill in the draft. Here you go. Henry Ruggs can absolutely fly. This is a 4.3 guy. If he runs sub 4.3, I will not be surprised. I love his fit in Denver.
We're going to go with the edge rusher out of Iowa at pick 16 to the Falcons, A.J. Epinesa.
You got that one right, too. Look at you go, Mitch. Wait till we get to later on. If there is an early run on tackles and quarterbacks, defensive players will slide down. Epinesa is not the same athlete that Javon Chase Young is, but he fits Atlanta really well as that base defensive end. I like him a lot. I think he goes around this range in that inside the top 22 or so.
With the 17th pick of the 2020 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys select Kristian Fulton, quarterback out of LSU.
He's an interesting player to me because I really liked what I saw out of him at LSU the past 2 years. Byron Jones might be gone in free agency. I've seen some more connected within the NFL not have Fulton going this early in their mock drafts, and I don't really get it. We've done this game before where I think they just might be overlooking players or not valuing them properly. He's a good athlete. Like, I just finished watching the Alabama game again. He ran stride for stride with Henry Ruggs a few times. Now, he's not as fast as Ruggs, but he didn't get roasted. I think he's a good athlete who can play man-to-man coverage. You want more interceptions, but he's a great man-to-man cover guy. Those guys are tough to find. I think he'd be a great fit for the Cowboys. Number 18, Javon Chase Young, the edge rusher out of LSU. This pick, by the way, via the Pittsburgh Steelers. If Chase Young falls to 18, it is a perfect fit for Miami. They need some speed rushers. Chase Young's production is not elite, but his on-field play was pretty damn close to it. He'd be a great pick. He's going top 20 this year.
The Las Vegas Raiders have 2 first-round picks in the 2020 draft. The first pick, they went with CeeDee Lamb. This one, they're going to go C.J. Henderson, cornerback out of Florida.
Garyon Conley's gone. I don't love the linebackers in the top 20, so I'll go with a different corner this time around. Henderson can come in. He's kind of like Kristian Fulton. He's a sticky man-to-man cover guy. Not a ton of interceptions this past 2 years, but he's shown that production in the past. Good athlete. Not a great tackler. That could be a red flag, especially for Oakland, but
Las Vegas.
Sorry, Las Vegas. I'll make that mistake hundreds of times. I apologize. Las Vegas Raiders. I think it'd be a good pickup for the Raiders. If they want a potential number 1 cover corner guy, I think Henderson can be that.
With the 20th pick, the Jags, they're going to go Trayvon Diggs, cornerback out of Alabama.
Diggs, I think, has kind of fallen a little bit because I think people have figured out he's not that fast. Now, he's a good athlete, don't get me wrong, but I didn't see any examples of when he had to make up ground on players that he did it. I think he might be more of a 4-5 guy, which works at his size. That's why I like him here at number 20 to the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The 4th wide receiver off the board, it's going to be T. Higgins to the Philadelphia Eagles. Carson Wentz, he gets another option.
You got to get upgrades at receiver and corner if you're Philadelphia. I went with one of the best receivers on the board. I also went with receiver at number 22, Laviska Shenault out of Colorado to Buffalo. You could flip-flop these if you want. I think they're both really good fits for what these teams need. I think they're both going to be first-round picks.
The Patriots are going to go with Yetur Gross-Matos, edge rusher out of Penn State. Can I get a "we are" in the comments?
I know you guys want a receiver or tight end, but you also have to focus on your defense. If you lose Kyle Van Noy, you don't have much at that position. You don't have a whole lot of premier edge guys, so there are no tight ends worth drafting. I think there's a bit of a drop-off here at receiver. I would love Shenault or Higgins in New England. I'll also address defensive line here, though, a little bit for the Patriots.
Let's go down to Nolans, where we're going to go with Jeff Gladney, cornerback from TCU.
I like Gladney. I think he's a sleeper right now. I think he's going to sneak into round 1. I think he's going to test really well at the combine. That'll help, the media get a little bit more on board with him as a round 1 player. I think 24, this is kind of a range of where there could be a run on receivers and corners. So if they slide down, this is where they really end up going, I think.
So we got to get some votes in now, all right? If you want a 7-round team mock draft, type me. So I expect there to be a ton of me's. Me. Okay? So get them in there, flow them in there. And I want you to subscribe, youtube.com/chatsportstv. Tom,
Just some explanation here. We're considering doing some 7-round team-focused mock drafts. Haven't decided the teams yet. If you want that, and I see a lot of me's in here, type your me, and we'll see what the bosses decide. We'll experiment with them, see how they do. I like them. We've done them for our Cowboys and Raiders channels before. We're thinking some other teams on our main channel. So if you want that, type in me.
Pick 25 is Xavier McKinney, safety out of Alabama.
The buzz has been growing more of McKinney going over Delpit. I am still pro Delpit, but there are some pretty major tackling concerns. And for Minnesota, they like to move their safeties around a little bit. Harrison Smith plays free box. Eric Harris did some of that. I think McKinney's actually a pretty good fit. With Gladney off the board, I like safety here, even though it's a bit of a surprise pick.
Hoping I'll get this next name wrong. Out of Houston, Josh Jones.
Future left tackle. Dolphins have to invest on the offensive line. With so many teams in this range needing offensive line help, I think Jones sneaks into the back end of round 1.
Pick 27, Marlon Davidson. Remember to grade each pick that we got A, B, C, D, or F.
I hate mock drafting for the Seattle Seahawks. I cannot stand it. I never know what they're going to do. I can't remember the last time I got a pick right that wasn't a trade down. Davidson, though, is kind of the outside-the-box surprise pick that I think makes sense for Seattle. Bunch of free agents on the defensive line, was an edge for Auburn, going to move to defensive tackle in the NFL. I think he's a sleeper late-round pick, and Seattle loves to take those kinds of guys. Number 28, Josh Uche out of Michigan, the edge rusher, wowed at the Senior Bowl. Now, Uche wasn't really a full-time player at Michigan, but teams covet his pass rushing ability. They love that out of Uche, who, by the way, look pretty damn good in coverage as well. You might lose some key pass rushers. The fear is he ends up being a Tim Williams 2.0, but Uche has the coverage ability to make it work in the Ravens 3-4 scheme. I think another potential late round 1 sleeper here is the Michigan pass rusher.
Let's go to the Tennessee Titans at pick 29, Julian Okwara.
Okwara, pretty close. Notre Dame, Tennessee, they have Harold Landry. Cam Wake still kicking along there, but they got to get some more help there. Okwara's coming off an injury, but I think he can sneak into late round 1, and I kind of had a little late run on pass rushers here as well.
The Packers are trying to find a wide receiver to pair up with Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers. They're going to go Jalen Reagor out of TCU.
Reagor brings speed. That's kind of his main selling point. And if you're Green Bay, you could probably use some more consistent speed. I think as a late first-round pick, Reagor fits for what Green Bay is looking for.
With the 31st pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, San Francisco 49ers are going to go safety out of LSU, Grant Delpit.
Delpit is a polarizing prospect right now because 2018 was awesome. You can see the difference in the production right there. And he can play free safety for you. The problem is despite being really good in coverage, he was a bad tackler this year. He missed about 20 to 25% of his tackles. That's a massive amount. Now, he was banged up. That was certainly an issue, but he had tackling issues as well in 2018. That's a big red flag for me. But at 31, I think it's a worthwhile gamble. I think it'd be a fun fit, by the way, in San Francisco as a single high free safety.
So we want you guys to comment this, okay? What's your dream draft prospect and pick pairing? So, Tom, what's your dream draft prospect and pick pairing?
I kind of like Grant Delpit in San Francisco. I think that fits with what they want to do. I think it fits pretty well overall. Joe Burrow to the Bengals is also a great one. And there's one more I will mention when we get to it that we have not gotten to quite yet.
With the 32nd pick, Kenneth Murray going to go to the Kansas City Chiefs.
I didn't love the secondary guys on the board here at that corner. You don't really need a safety. Didn't love the edges. The Chiefs have invested in linebacker the past couple of years. Anthony Hitchens among them, which was not a great signing. Kenneth Murray can come in, and although he's still a little raw in terms of diagnosing and reading what's going on, that's the nature of being a college football player, he's a damn good athlete. I think a late first-round pick makes a ton of sense for Kenneth Murray. If the Chiefs can get him, if they don't trade down, I think that plugs in right away as a key player for them as they make a run to repeat as Super Bowl champions.
Oh, speaking of Super Bowl champions, right now, the Chiefs have the best odds to win Super Bowl 55. If you want to bet on the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl, go to BetDSI. That's chatsports.com/bet. Use our promo code NFL120. It gets you 120% deposit bonus. If you put down $100, you get $120 for free. You put down $50, get $60 for free. BetDSI is the internet's #1 sportsbook. Let's get in now to the second round of our 2020 NFL mock draft. Tom, I see you rubbing your hands. They can't see it. Patrick Queen.
We will go quicker here. I promise you guys. Patrick Queen, fantastic fit for the Bengals. We'll come back to Jordan Love. Zach Bond is kind of this hybrid linebacker edge guy. I think he fits well as a Kyle Van Noy type in Matt Patricia's defense in Detroit. I like that fit. Terrell Lewis is maybe a first-round talent, but he's got medical concerns. That's a big reason why he's out of round 1. The Giants have got to find more pass rush help. And then back to Jordan Love here. If we were doing trades, I think I would have had the Colts move into round 2 or into round 1 to get that extra fifth-year option for Jordan Love. We mentioned the fit for Jordan Love. I think he's a really great option for Indianapolis. I think Jordan Love needs to sit a season. That is what the Colts must do with Jordan Love. Otherwise, it's not going to work out. He is not ready to play an entire season as a rookie quarterback. That's not going to pan out well. If you give him a season, if that's the route that you go and say, hey, we're going to sit you down for an entire year, then we'll start making decisions, it'll pay off. That's the route to go with Jordan Love, and I think the Colts are one of the best fits for him in that area. Take him in for a year, let him sit, then develop him. You're playing with house money because it's the Redskins pick. That works out really well. At least has the potential to work out really well.
So will Jordan Love be a first-round pick? We want you to type Y for yes, type N for no. He's an interesting prospect, had a solid 2018. 2019 had a little bit of a regression year, but I've had a lot of people float out the name Patrick Mahomes. So will Jordan Love be a first-round pick? I agree.
Unfair comp.
Y for yes or N for no. All right, Tom, let's get into some more picks here. Number 37, Austin Jackson.
Out of USC, the tackle, they need help there. It was a bad offensive line. Jackson can sneak into round 1. Heard some more buzz for Damon Arnett as of late. Carolina, I'm just going to keep mocking you guys, defensive players. You're welcome. God knows you need it. Miami does not go back in round 1. They get J.K. Dobbins in round 2. In general, by the way, I had a tough time finding spots for a back to go earlier than I think they should talent-wise. And then Justin Jefferson to Arizona. Let's give Kyler Murray more options. Keep throwing picks at wide receiver. They like to use 4 receivers anyway. They need bodies there. Jefferson comes in. Instant impact at the slot receiver spot, and it's a good one.
So we want you guys to let us know right now in the comments. Who's your favorite day 2 prospect? Throw it in there. My favorite day 2 prospect is a player that you just mentioned, Justin Jefferson.
It's a good pick.
We've seen a lot of wide receivers go in the first round that really haven't panned out. There's been actually the round 2. It's been a little bit more favorable. I'll say Michael Thomas.
I think Jefferson fits really well as an early impact guy on day 2 in a A.J. Brown type of mold. I see someone mention Brandon Ayuk. We'll get to him in a little bit as well. It's a good receiver class this year and a deep class overall.
Let's keep the mock draft rolling. Tom, pick number 41.
Ashton Davis, the safety out of Cal. They need a free safety. Davis certainly fits that role pretty well. Ross Blacklock out of TCU. This one intrigues me. You're going to have to replace Marcel Darius. They like to have defensive linemen. Great value for Blacklock, who I think is a sleeper round 1 pick. At number 43 overall, the first Bears pick, I went with Lloyd Cushenberry III. Now allow me to explain why. He was a center at LSU. He did play some guard. I think that's going to be a better fit for him in the NFL. Now, his 2019 pass protection was not great. He took a pretty big step back there. I was a little surprised by it, but looked better in that role in the Senior Bowl. Maybe he was a bit banged up. Had a great 2018. And, by the way, he's a better run blocker than he is pass protector. So assuming he can make the transition from center to guard, that fits what the Bears need. You got to replace Kyle Long. Maybe Cushenberry can be that guy. A not sexy, but a practical pick here by Chicago.
So we want to know, what's the Bears' biggest need? Throw it in the comments section below. What's the Chicago Bears' biggest need? Think it's quarterback? You think it's offensive line? Don't be shy.
Immediate needs probably guard or tight end. Long-term definitely is quarterback.
Continue to let us know. Bears' biggest need. Pick number 44, wide receiver out of Arizona State, Brandon Ayuk.
You got that one right. We're going to get to a tough one here. Stay tuned. The Colts could still use one more really good receiver. And I call him Brandon Ayuk because he is a yard-after-catch machine. Get the ball in his hands, and really good things happen. Now you got T.Y. Hilton. Now you got Paris Campbell. Now you got Ayuk, plus guys like Zach Pascal for depth. That actually ends up being a pretty good receiving core. And then once T.Y. Hilton decides to step away, you're going to end up being still in pretty darn good shape.
In our 2020 mock draft, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Bruce Arians going to go quarterback out of Washington. Jacob Eason.
Development guy. He is still pretty darn raw, but he fits what Arians wants. I don't like him in round 1. I can get on board with round 2. A.J. Terrell out of Clemson. Denver might lose Chris Harris, even if they bring him back. They still need more help. DeAndre Swift, look,
Love it.
I wouldn't hate him at 27 overall. 47 because the running backs kind of fell in this. That's great for Atlanta. Dump Devonta Freeman. Go with Swift. It's a fantastic pick. And I like KJ Hamler, too. Now, you might have some overlap in terms of is he a slot outside guy, but he's a playmaker. Mitch,
losing one in Robbie Anderson.
I'm trying to get the Jets playmakers here, and I got one in KJ Hamler.
Well, Tom, I'm a dream weaver. Do you know that song? I'm going to go Curtis Weaver here, edge rusher out of Boise State at pick 49.
I don't know how the NFL feels about Curtis Weaver. I like him a lot. I think he's worthy of a top 50 pick. I think he fits well across from TJ Watt. He might be a guy I have in my top 50 that maybe slides outside of it in the actual NFL draft.
Now, the Bears, they didn't have any first-round picks, but they do have 2 picks in the second round. And that pick 50, they're going to go tight end out of Dayton, Adam Troutman.
I understand if Bears fans get triggered by this pick.
Adam Shaheen.
Because they had a small school guy named Adam didn't work out last time. I like Adam Troutman a lot more than I liked Adam Shaheen, though. I thought he really impressed the Senior Bowl. You see the production on your screen. 914 yards, 14 scores. He's actually a pretty good blocker, so you have that kind of baseline, too. It's a big-time need for the Bears. I did not give them a quarterback here. I don't think it makes a whole lot of sense given the guys on the board. But Troutman to Chicago fills the need, and he's a lot more ready to play than Adam Shaheen ever was. Number 51 here, the Cowboys back on the clock. Antoine Winfield. This is one of my guys, as I've said before on our Cowboys show. Cowboys draft Twitter always finds a safety that they love and they don't get. Juan Thornhill last year. I think it's going to be Antoine Winfield. Now, he's undersized, and you've got medical concerns. 7 interceptions and 80 tackles this year. He's an undersized guy. He doesn't play like it, though. I love watching Antoine Winfield play. Yes, he's junior, and his dad was senior, the Vikings corner. He's a smart football player. He plays tough. He kind of tackles like his dad did. Hits pretty hard for a guy his size. I love Antoine Winfield. I think he goes in round 2, and I'm going to love the pick for whomever ends up grabbing him.
So I want you guys to grade the Cowboys mock draft picks. A, B, C, D, or F. Tom, who was the guy that he took in the first round for the Cowboys?
I took Kristian Fulton. I took Antoine Winfield. Javon Kinlaw was off the board, by the way. Got a cornerback. Got a safety. I think I did a really great job there for the Cowboys, but, let me know what you guys think in the comments section.
Next player, we got Prince Tega Wanoga.
Pretty good. Not bad, Mitch. The Rams have got to find some tackle. Now, I know Andrew Whitworth's going to come back for one more year. You can sit Tega Wanoga for a year, let him develop, but if you're the Rams, you have got to find offensive linemen for the short term and for the long term.
At pick number 53, the Philadelphia Eagles, they're going to go Jalen Johnson.
I got a receiver in round 1. I got him a cornerback in round 2. For the Bills, I got a receiver in round 1. Now I'm getting them an edge rusher. Jonathan Grenard out of Florida had a nice year after transferring from Louisville. Neville Gallimore is going to impress at the Combine. This will probably end up being too low for him in the end, but I like the value he brings for the Falcons. Deidre Sennett is not playing. Gallimore is a 3 technique. That's his role in the NFL. Totally worth a top 55 pick. Then Tyler Biadasz, who was not as good this year as he was last year. That's why he's fallen out of round 1. Miami needs a center or a guard. Now, Biadasz might only be a center in the NFL. Might push him down even further, but you need offensive line help. I think Biadasz is one of the better interior guys left on the board.
At pick 57, we got Jonathan Taylor. Love this pick, especially for fantasy football. I'll tell you what, if Carlos Hyde, Lamar Miller can be productive, Jonathan Taylor, I love
Taylor
this.
is definitely worth a pick well before the 57 overall pick. But if the running backs slide, because of Taylor's limited work in the passing game and some pretty significant fumbling concerns, he might be RB3. I push him out of the top 50 altogether. All right, Mitch, try number 58 overall here.
Noah Igbenogany.
There you go. Noah Igbenogany is his name, a cornerback out of
what
Auburn.
What is monogamy?
That's no. Cornerback out of Auburn. I think he's getting a little bit more buzz. You might hear more of him after the Combine, potentially. Minnesota needs corners, some size. I don't know if he's listed at 5'11". We'll see what he actually is, but he has had some pretty good film. Also zoted Cameron Dantzler, who fits what Seattle wants at corner. Did not give them a round 1 corner because Seahawks fans never do it, and it bothers me. But Dantzler, he had some great film against Alabama, against that receiving core. He might go earlier than this because teams love long, lanky, speedy guys, but he's there at number 59. Donovan Peoples-Jones at 60 out of Michigan to Baltimore. I don't love this pick, but the NFL, as we've seen with guys like Amara Darboh going right before they should have, they like Michigan receivers. DPJ is better than any of those guys was coming out. Still a raw developmental guy, but he'd be a fun fit for the Baltimore Ravens with what they want to do on offense.
Back-to-back Michigan players in this mock draft, Tom. Caesar Ryu.
Oh, my
Wow,
God.
Ruiz.
You mess up one of the easier ones we'll have. Now, he played center at Michigan. I'm going to kick him outside to guard. That's kind of the nature of the NFL. These centers often play guard sometimes. They need more help there with some free agents. I like that fit. Malik Harrison to Green Bay. Give him a linebacker there. Good fit for the Packers. Overall, I think 62 might actually be later than what he ends up going.
With the 63rd pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, in our latest mock, we got the Kansas City Chiefs going Jonah Jackson, Ohio State.
If you watched the Super Bowl, you saw the Chiefs' interior offensive line not do great.
Get what?
They need another option at guard. Jackson played really well for Ohio State this year. Now, he's better in pass protection than he is run blocking. Guess what, Mitch? That's what the Chiefs are going to do. That one fits right there. Andrew Wiley's a free agent. They started Steven Wisniewski in the Super Bowl. He did not have a great game. Bring in a new starter at guard. Yes, your defense needs help, but I think Jackson would be a fantastic fit for KC as a late round 2 pick.
At pick 64, Lucas Niang out of TCU.
Tackle out of TCU, like you mentioned there. He fits what Seattle likes. He's kind of a little bit more developmentally needed players. Jermaine Irfetti is not good. Niang probably isn't a year 1 answer, but you're at 64. You're probably not going to find an option there at 64. So for Lucas Niang, I think it'd be a good addition by the Seattle Seahawks. Give him a year, see if he can be your long-term right tackle.